So now we've got our object bouncing around. Let's add a paddle. So you can click on choose a sprite again and pick any object you want. It will be a little bit easier if that object has a flat-ish top of some kind, but you can still pick anything. We also do have this paddle sprite that you can use, and I'll use that one. So let's make it so that when the player moves the mouse left and right, the paddle moves with it. How can we make the paddle go to a certain position between the left side of the screen and the right side of the screen? Well, in Scratch, you might already know this, but X, this number, represents how far a sprite is from this side of the screen to that side. And if you go to the motion category and drag out this block, set X, you can put in a number here, and that will control where the sprite goes. So if you set X to 100, the sprite goes all the way over here. If you set it to 0, the sprite goes right into the middle. And if you set it to a negative number, like -100, the sprite goes over here. Now, we want the paddle to move left and right when the player moves the mouse left and right. And here's how we can do that. If you go to the sensing category, there's this block, mouse X. And this block will tell you what is the current X position of the player's mouse at that moment. So you can drag this block into the set X block. And now this will set the X of the paddle to be wherever the X of the mouse is. To show you it, let's put it in a forever loop. So I'll put that inside a forever loop. And I'll put a when green flag clicked block on top so that we can make it start by clicking the green flag. And there you go. When the player moves the mouse left and right, the paddle moves left and right with it because we're always setting the X position of the paddle to be the X position of the mouse. Okay, nice. We have the object bouncing around, we can move the paddle, but right now the object just passes right through the paddle if we hit it. So let's make it actually so that the object bounces off the paddle. Here's how you can do that. Let's go to the control category and drag out an if block because we want the object to bounce if it hits the paddle. So how can we tell if the object hit the paddle? Well, in the sensing category, there's this block that can check if one sprite is touching another sprite. So we can drag this block and click and choose paddle from the menu. And now if the object connects with the paddle, what do we want it to do? What code should we put in here? Well, we want it to bounce. And before there was that if on edge bounce block, but there's no if on paddle bounce block. But what is bouncing? It's basically turning in the opposite direction and then moving in that direction. So here's what you can do. You could go to the motion category and pick out this turn block and have it turn 180 degrees because 180 degrees is half of a circle. So if you turn that many degrees, you'll go in the opposite direction from where you were going. And then after it turns, let's have it move a bit in this new direction it's going. So you can drag out a move block. Maybe we'll have it move 15 steps. So the ball moves a little bit away from the paddle after it's been bounced. Now let's put a green flag block on top and see if it works. Okay, so I hit the ball with the paddle, but it didn't bounce. And here is why it's not working. We need to put this if block inside a forever loop so that the ball is always checking every second. Did I hit the paddle? Did I hit the paddle? Because right now, if it doesn't have a forever loop around it, when the green flag is clicked, it checks one time. Am I hitting the paddle right now? Nope, okay. I don't need to do this code anymore. So let's put this inside a forever loop. And now, there we go. We can actually bounce the ball with the paddle. And one other little thing I'll add, I'm going to put a wait 0.5 seconds block in here after it moves so that we'll have it wait and let it move away from the paddle a bit. Also, if you want to add some randomness to the way it bounces, you can go to the operators category and drag out this block, pick random, and instead of having the ball turn 180 degrees every time, it could turn somewhere between 170 to 190 degrees, and now it'll be a little different each time it hits the wall.